What up, PTP subscribers? Danye here, and specifically my elite PTP subscribers. For those of you who are on the beta testing team for the new drum plugin, I wanted to take a minute and just sit down with you and share with you exactly what my endeavors were with this plugin, what I intend to accomplish with this plugin, and just to kind of debunk some of the rumors and hearsay about what this plugin is and what it is not. Okay, so first things first, this is not a bells and whistles drum library. It is not a library full of extra elements and extra artifacts that producers and engineers don't need or use. This particular drum library is strictly geared for engineers and producers. It's not engineered necessarily for the songwriter. It's engineered for the producer and the engineer. And the reason why is because there are already drum libraries out for songwriters. There are already drum libraries out for people who need something to make writing a song easier. This library is not intended for helping you write a song easier, but it is intended for helping your drums to actually sound not just more authentic, but a lot more natural. Just to give you some background of why I decided to do this is I have been programming drums pre VST plugin, before technology ever even caught up with what I was doing. I was programming and sampling live drums in the Korg Triton back in the late 90s and early 2000s. And I was making my own drum kits and concocting my own sounds and all of that. And as technology began to advance, it began to catch up to what I was doing. And I thought it was really, really, really cool. However, I noticed that along the line of VST creation and drum plugin creation and programming, they forgot about us. They forgot about the gospel music producer, the funk music producer. They forgot about grit and just natural imperfection that comes along with an actual drum session. When you hear drums being recorded, there are so many imperfections that make the sound authentic. The room sound and all of that. They start spending more money and more time on perfect sounding drum heads and the most expensive mics and 4 and 5 snare mics and stereo bottom snare mics and all of that. And to be honest, when we record and when I record, I'm not looking for that. I'm not looking for a 12 mic drum recording. I'm not looking for that. And in a lot of just live music, you don't find a lot of that in our genre. Our genre is, our processes and the sound that we get, there are flaws and imperfections that make it natural and organic, that make this thing feel alive when we are recording. I'll give you an example. I was in a studio down in Miami, Florida years ago, and George Clinton had recorded there. And the engineer he had mixing, he was visiting, and he visited during our session, and he walks in, and the engineer pulls up the mix, and it's so pristine and clean, and he said, "Oh, that sounds good, but I don't like it. You took all my dirt out. You took all my stank and my funk out. You took all that out. I need that back in there." And immediately the engineer knew exactly what the problem was. So he turned around, turned off all his gates, took off quite a bit of EQ, and brought the natural vibe of just the regular recording without a lot of processing in it. Maybe he left maybe some compression, but that was about it. And the mix got just dirtier and dirtier. But I noticed the dirtier the mix got, the funkier it got, the more organic it got. And before I knew it, I was like, yo, this joint is banging so hard. But it was because of the imperfection and not because of the pristine, clean digital sound. And so the object and the goal for these drums is to keep all of that. A regular drum session, top snare mic, bottom snare mic, kick mic, tom mics, two overheads, and that's it. I'm including a convolution reverb channel for the room. Now, this drum library is going to start off as a contact library. I thought long and hard about it, and I talked to a couple of my best, one of my best friends. One's an engineer, another one is one of my production partners, and she actually told me that that's probably the best bet. Her and the engineer told me that it's probably the best bet to start with a contact library so that one, everyone has access to it, and then secondly, you can grow into your own platform from there. And the reason why I want to start there is so that it's accessible to everyone, Mac or PC, and you don't really have to deal with, well, I don't have a PC and your version is only for PC. I don't have a Mac, your version is only for Mac, and it costs a lot of money to get somebody to design a platform for you these days. I don't particularly have the time to sit down and program my own platform for this drum plugin because my focus is music production and getting production tutorial vids out to you guys. So until I raise the money to be able to branch out into that, maybe that'll be a 2.0 series in the future. But just for you beta team users, I want to get y'all in the know about what I plan to do with this. So it is not, here's a myth debunking. It is not called the, or should I say, no longer called the Calvin Rogers drum plugin. It does feature, it will feature Calvin Rogers, but it's not Calvin Rogers drum plugin. We partnered up to use his drums as a feature because his drum recording process was so natural and organic and is very powerful. And because he's a drummer that understands that there's nothing out there for us, his vision was parallel to mine when it came to putting together this drum plugin. So it's not going to just be his drums. It's going to be more drums than that. So far, we have a good 6 drum kits that are going to be on this plugin, not including Calvin's. Okay, so Calvin makes 7, but it's 6 drum plugin or 6 drum kits, libraries. A couple of those kits have 3 snares, so 3, 6, 7, 8, maybe 8 snares. Some 8 snares, about 4 to 6 different tom kits. So we got a quite extensive library, including hats and cymbals from Sabian and Meinl, and Zildjian. I think there's a couple of Zildjian cymbals that I love the sound, and I sampled them. But this is going to be an extensive library, but it's also going to be very simple, very simple. My intent is to, the interface is not going to be super belly and whistly like Toontrack Superior Drummer or anything of the like. At the most, you're going to see a nice mixer with some EQ and dynamic adjustments, and you'll be able to change kit pieces. I'm looking into trying to have a remapping feature so that if you want to remap some of the keys to the drums custom wise, you can. That's one of the main struggles there that I'm kind of looking into doing that with some of the scripting. And so, but we'll get there. We'll get there. I want to appreciate those of you who are rocking with me. I've had quite a few people drop out for various reasons, and that's cool. And so I wanted to get on here and just give you guys an update and let you guys know what exactly was happening with this drum plugin. We're still sampling though. There's still some drum stuff that I'm just like, we gotta have this for them. And so it's gonna start off with maybe 1 or 2 kits as the default, and then everything else will be a sold expansion after that. As elite subscribers and as beta testers, you will be able to have access to these plugins or to these expansions at a discounted rate, if not for free. I'm still debating that. I know some expansions will be for free, and then some will be at a huge discount to you as a beta tester. But you will get that, and you will also get the final version of the plugin. So look forward to rocking with you guys. Thank you guys for being a part of this. And we look forward to the future. And we're going to see how big this thing gets. All right. God bless.